Captain, there were so many merry marauders there. Many merry marauders. Any fair folk we might know? Aye.
We be merry marauders.
I'm the doctor, and I be a merry marauder.
I am a merry marauder.
She is the merriest marauder.
Yes. I'm Scuba Steve, and I am a merry marauder.
I'm Duke of Sword Circle. I am a merry marauder.
We are ironhide leather wood, and we are merry marauders.
I'm Basil, and I'm a merry marauder.
This is about as merry as a marauding as I can get. Looks like a whole bunch of merry marauders.
Cap.
We did it, y'all. If you guys go and look on Yazik's GoFundMe fundraiser page for Chocolate Milk's GoFundMe, they have met their goal of $2,800. So let's get that cat some dental surgery. Good evening, everybody. Welcome in. I know we're early. We are an hour early today. Why? Because this is a double episode. Double being it's long. So we've got a lot to talk about and a lot to get through tonight. We have 5 questions, 6 questions, something like that. Those come at the end. Those come at the second hour. So welcome in for all of those who are just joining the stream, those who are new to the stream, those who are old friends to the stream. Welcome in. We are Rogue Advice. We are a TTRPG, D&D, sports, entertainment, everything podcast. A nerdcast, if you will. We take the spirit of Bard advice from our good friend, the Bard Yazik, and we've turned it into something of our own. I am your host, the Pirate Archaeologist. You guys may know me as the Rogue Pirate Archaeologist, the Pirate Archaeologist. Sometimes I'm called Chris, and for those who are just joining the stream, joining us all the way from this past weekend's Norse Forge Gathering, you all know me as Captain Bones. Captain Bartholomew Bones McCoy. All right, let's get into it. So yes, I was at the Norse Forge Gathering 5 this previous weekend in New London, North Carolina, and I absolutely had a blast. I met new people. I met new friends. I absolutely had a blast. And if you get a chance, when we get dates and information and everything else, when we're allowed to post things, please check it out. It's wonderful. If you check it out on the Clock app, the TikTok, it's Norse Forge Gathering. Follow them if you have those apps. It's freaking wonderful. I also like to take this time to welcome everybody in the chat who's actually in the chat. Poison Ivy, Kirk, Yukai. Welcome in. I know it's an hour before everybody is scheduled to be here, but as you also may know, things have changed for Rogue Advice. Just a slight tweak, and I want to show you what I did. I created a flag. It's freaking awesome. I created a flag. And I'm actually going to get this flag printed off 3 foot by 5 foot, and this will be one of the 2 Pirate Archaeologist flags. I know, isn't it, Yukai? It's glorious. So, Hate equals hat. Okay, hate equals the hat. Perfect. I do want to take this time to state something. We had something go on in the Discord earlier today, and it saddens me, and it saddens a lot of folks in the Discord probably when they see the message. I don't know if our good friend River will be joining us here on Rogue Advice anymore. I know he is removing himself from moderator role from the Discord, and he is leaving the Discord. So unfortunately, it is sad to see him go, and we understand. And please respect his wishes. Don't DM him asking him what's going on. I haven't even done so. I'm not going to do so. It's his choice. But again, yes, Kirk, hats off to River. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for being here and being you. So we are losing our necromancer. That's the sad part. But hopefully we will be gaining. I shared this out on other Discord channels today, so hopefully we will be gaining more people. I know there are people out there who have enjoyed my presence this last weekend, who want to see what I'm doing and want to contribute. So with that, there is news. There is much news. So I went out, everybody, as you all know, I've been talking about it, I went out to the Norse Forge Gathering 5 this previous weekend in New London, North Carolina. I went as Captain Bones. I went as my pirate character, Captain Bones. It went off absolutely well. Yes, Poison Ivy, you can join. The link to the Discord is in the server, but if you DM me, I can, you know what, let me do so right now, because usually River does this for us, but as he's not here, I am going to do this. And I am going to post this in the Discord. This is a link to the Discord. It is valid for 7 days. So there you go. No, I don't have the stream up with it. Maybe it's because I have the microphone way up too high, and it's actually catching what's going on in my ears. How's that, Jake? Is echo gone? Maybe I do this. Okay. Yeah, I turned the microphone up earlier, and it's catching everything that's out of this microphone is phenomenal. It's this finite, or the Fifine microphone. It picks up every little thing. So I've got it going on. I've got it monitoring in my headphones, and I guess it's picking up the monitoring from the headphones. So hey, that's great. But back to what happened this weekend. So yeah, I was dressed in my pirate costume for 3 days, and not just one singular costume. I did 3 different costume changes. And everybody loved Captain Bones. They loved his backstory. They loved the look. They love the outfit. Matter of fact, we had influencers there. If you guys know them, Haley and Kendra were there, and they absolutely loved my costume. And when I was asking what advice they had for somebody who was wanting to get into content creation who didn't know what to do, they were like, "You're doing it right now. This is what you do." So I'm going to start doing more content creation over there on the TikTok as Captain Bones. And the content I'm going to be creating, we're going to be doing book readings, classical novels as Captain Bones. And the first one we shall be reading will be Treasure Island. See, it's just so easy for me to get into that character. It's super easy. After we finish Treasure Island, we're going to be doing some books for the ladies. Because apparently I recently found out that there is a romantic pirate novel category. I think that should be interesting. We will see. But that happens in the future. I got to get some things. Some things happened with my costume, and I got to replace some things. I knelt down once and split the seams of my left thigh, on the inside and the outside of my breechers. So we gotta go. We gotta go replace those. But yeah. Oh, speaking of which, I am glad I am remembering all of this. If you guys go to, and I will put it in the chat, if you guys go to piratefashions.com and just look through all of their accessory photos. Guess who did a photo shoot with Pirate Fashions? Guess whose photos are on the interwebs in Pirate Fashions? Their bottles and a couple of their non-working, non-firing flintlock pistols. The best one is the double barrel pistol. I think that double barrel pistol is absolutely exquisite. It's gold. It's just beautiful, and I think the model who modeled that is phenomenal too. So, oh no, I know they get spicy. This is not going to be for the 18 or the 18 and under crowd. It is going to definitely be for the 18 and up, preferably 21 and up crowd. But as a pirate, I know they can get very, very, very spicy. And if they get too spicy for the TikTok, then it'll come to the YouTube. So, or it'll go somewhere else. I may do it elsewhere. But yes. But thank you for that advice, you guys. We may not go to full 2 hours tonight then, because we're only 17 minutes in. And I did not think that was going to happen. I did not think I was going to go through that fast. Yeah, well, okay, so here, this is what we can do. We can talk in the chat for now. So Jake, the pirate stuff under 18, Treasure Island is under 18. But if you're talking about the spicy stuff, no, it's definitely not under 18. Hello, wifey. So at the Norse Forge, while I had a great time, somebody out on the interwebs got to have a video of it. A pirate pirated a tractor. Story on that, we had an incident. the guy who was driving the tractor had to go take care of the incident, and no other volunteer or staff member really had experience driving an International Harvester or a Massey Ferguson tractor. I did because I used Massey Fergusons and International Harvesters and John Deere's to tow multi-million-dollar helicopters from one place to another after we folded them up and wrapped them up and put them on, or to put them on the boat to ship them home. So we had a trailer out there that we put people on, and that was the pirate ship for a few hours, both or on Saturday. So while I was there having fun, I was also volunteering to do work while I was there in pirate costume. This is funny. This is funny. I was given the job of guildmaster. Now, guildmasters were the smaller encampments point of contact for everything. So when I volunteered, they looked at my resume and guildmaster, and I could choose any guild I wanted. Unfortunately, had I known better, I might have chosen the Bard Guild, but I did not. And I did it purely for placement. Okay? The guild that I chose was situated in a place that made more sense that a pirate would have been there. We had an area roped off. We couldn't go back. We couldn't access the lake. But where the guild that I was the guild master of was situated maybe 100 yards to the dock on the lake, I figured if a pirate's going to come to a Viking encampment for a weekend, he's going to show up in his pirate ship and he's going to come off the dock and plant himself down. So that is what I did. The guild that happened to be the greatest guild of all time, Mage Guild. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the Fighters Guild or from the Bards Guild. They are great too, but being the Mage Guild Pirate Master, I am kind of biased towards the Mage Guild. So the Mage Guild was where all the TTRPG stuff was. Bards Guild was 21 and up, and they sang and did karaoke and had communal adult beverages, tables full of communal adult beverages, stuff like that. Fighters Guild, well, it's the Fighters Guild. What more can you say? But, so, yeah. So, coming off the boat, coming off the dock, I parked it right there in Mage Guild. It was TTRPG, minis, everything. All night, Friday night, all night, Saturday night. It was phenomenal. Stuff's going on in the chat. I did it in garb. Yes, I was already dressed in my pirate costume, and they came over to radios and said, "Hey, we have an incident. Does anybody know how to drive a tractor?" I'm like, "I'm just a volunteer. I'm not staff, but I have tractor experience." And they were like, "You're it." I have to pause. Hold on a minute. I hit the button, but the button didn't activate. We're back. We're back. Yes, my wife was correct. It was my groceries for my food for dinner because I haven't eaten yet. But yes, I did it in costume, and I absolutely enjoyed it, and it was great. Dock Patrol to see if pirate is legit. What do you mean, Dock Patrol to see if pirate is legit? Though I will tell you what is legit. So I had a bottle of 12-year Appleton Estate rum that I brought with me, that I had filtered twice through a Brita water filter. Smoothed it right out. I mean, smoothed it out. It had that initial bite, but that back bite that rum usually has, gone. That rum was gone Friday night. I mean, that rum was gone Friday night, and I wasn't the only one drinking it. Everybody wanted a taste of it. So, but what I did get, and I'm glad that my groceries came because I would have forgotten about it. What I did get was this. This is a product of the United Kingdom. It is elderflower mead. And boy, is it good. Right there. It was filled up to there. I drank to there in one sitting. Saturday night. Yes, the rum was, there was only one thing of rum, dear. Although, at the next one, I did say that the pirates would be coming back and their ship's stores would be full of rum. So, gotta stock up on rum because people enjoyed the rum. But yeah, no, it was absolutely phenomenal. So I wish that I wasn't volunteering as much, but me volunteering when I wasn't the guildmaster, I was a walking NPC. I would go around and hang out and do things. But no, I did not get in any pictures myself. There's a few running around the interwebs of me. But next year I'm going to hire my own private photographer, and they're going to follow me around and take lots of photos of me doing piratey stuff. So, with that being said, not a big fan of mead. My wife is a fan of flower-flavored things. Elderberry could be good for her. I don't know if it's elderberry or if it's just the elderflower. But this is 100% honey mead. It's honey wine, basically. 15% ABV. And it's made in the UK. And, yeah. Nidhogger Mead Company. But it's absolutely delicious. Lemon mead with grain neutral spirits and elderflower made with ethnically sourced honey, and suitable for vegetarians. So if you're vegetarian, this is good. This is good for you. And they had 3 flavors, and I got the elderflower, but their other 2 flavors were the traditional mead and sour cherry. So, but yes, the mead is here. The rum is gone. The mead is here. So we are 30 minutes in. 30 minutes in. Oh, I'm in Gainesville. I have been moved from Melbourne, Florida to Gainesville. And I'll be here for a duration. I don't know. But this may look different next week. It may not look different next week. I may be in my own corporate 1-bedroom apartment next week. Or I may be here. Who knows? But yeah. So with that being said, I know I've had the Rogue Bard advice email on there all night long so far. But we can go to there and we can get rid of it so you guys can see the lovely face of me. But hey, you know what? Let's get into some questions because honestly, that's what you guys are here for. Oh no, you know what? I'm still going to leave the questions for last because there is more news. And I know Yazzik usually got to this at the end. He did the sports things stuff at the end. He did the TTRPG stuff. Now, they released Oblivion remastered. I haven't played it yet. I hear it's phenomenal. I hear it's absolutely good. Milady Lee, hello, love. Milady, and entering the chat is Milady Lee. I met her at the Norse Forge Gathering. Milady, say hello to everybody. Kirk, Yukai, my wife Melody, everybody in the chat. Say hi to Milady Lee. She is phenomenal. Her birthday is at the end of the month, and if she's here in the chat or in Rogue Advice, we will wish her a happy birthday then. I thought Bacon would show up too. There was a beautiful woman from the UK, beautiful person, beautiful soul, beautiful all around. Bikes and Bacon. Full name, Bikes and Bacon. She goes by Bacon. Thought she was going to show up. Crimson Honda, you're in here. Nice to see you, sir. But yeah. We all had fun. Though, yeah. Lots of fun. But, you got me off track, my lady Lee. But it's okay. We can get back on it. So, sports and TTRPGs, they have released Oblivion before Elder Scrolls 6. And I believe there's a question in my emails about that. If I don't have it on tonight, it'll be close. No, I think the question tonight is about the Pope. But yeah, no, it's video gaming. The video game industry is taking their time releasing certain games. Everybody's waiting for Rockstar to release freaking GTA 6. Everybody's waiting on Elder Scrolls 6. Everybody didn't even know that Oblivion was being remastered. However, and I'll answer this. I'll go into more depth when I answer this question later on another show, maybe tonight. I don't know. I kind of wish they would have started with remastering the beginning of the Elder Scrolls series instead of starting with Oblivion. I think more people would have enjoyed remastered Morrowind. I think people would have enjoyed a remastered Icewind Dale. But yeah, Bacon is on her way. Tech issues. Thank you, Milady Lee. Thank you. But yeah, no, it's a weird time in sports. My Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks came into the league at the exact same time. They're both celebrating 50 seasons this year. 50. And what? 3-4 Super Bowl championships between them? At least 2. Tampa Bay has 2. I don't know about Seattle. I don't follow Seattle. So yeah, that's your sports corner. Is it next weekend? Should be next week. It should be Memorial Day weekend. Is the NASCAR race, the Coca-Cola 600, or not the Coca-Cola 600, the Coca-Cola 600 out at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And it's also the Indy 500 in Indianapolis. And Kyle Larson will be attempting the double. He will be attempting to drive in the Indy 500 and finish this year, and then drive in the Coca-Cola 600 and finish. He didn't get a chance to do the double last year. Rain delays and everything else. 2 weeks ago, we had the running of the Kentucky Derby, in which every single horse in the Kentucky Derby was a descendant to Secretariat. I was trying to find all of their lineages. I found like 8 that were direct descended to Secretariat. I found a couple sets of horses that were either siblings or cousins. So the Kentucky Derby this year was a family affair. Yep. Our 17th anniversary of getting engaged. Yep. 17 years this October would have been married. Yeah. So yeah. We are at 34 minutes. I think it should be time for our first question then. Right? And our first question comes from Amanda. Or Puffy Cheeto. She's not in the chat tonight, and I suspect I know why. I do believe that it might be award ceremony night, because I was seeing pictures on the Book of Face, and I think it's either award ceremony night tonight or the award ceremony was last night, but Puffy Cheeto is not in here. However, she did send a question. So, nope, that's my updates. So, I'm sorry. Our first question is going to be from Retriever of Gold, Jacob, and he writes, "Are you excited for the remaster of Oblivion before Elder Scrolls 6?" Did I not just discuss this? So no, I'm not excited over the remaster of Oblivion over Elder Scrolls 6. Though a remaster of Elder Scrolls of Oblivion could have happened simultaneously with the release of Elder Scrolls 6, though if there's buggies that they're trying to work out with Elder Scrolls 6, I could see why they would release Oblivion, the remaster. But, like I said, I would have preferred them to go with Icewind Dale or Morrowind or the ones that they did on the PC before consoles. Before everything. Remaster and re-release the stuff that you did for PC back in the early 90s before console games. Bugs in Elder Scrolls, you mean features? Well, if River was still here, he'd tell you that they're not called Bugthesda for nothing. So, but yeah, no, I'm gonna play Oblivion, the remaster, just so I can say I played it, just so I can see what they've done with it and how they've remastered it. And from everything that I've read and everything that I've seen, it looks absolutely stunning. It looks absolutely phenomenal. It kind of looks like Skyrim, only with better graphics, even. Yeah, it does just work. But no, it's I'm waiting for him to do it to one of the. I'm waiting for him to put it on Meta so that you can actually walk through. Unless it's already on Meta. I don't know. I don't have a Meta device, though I wouldn't be opposed to having a Meta device. I could sail the high seas from my couch, and not have to have a boat, because that person in there won't let me have a boat. I mean, Oklahoma, honestly, Oklahoma, where am I going to put a boat? I know that, and that's what she's going to say. Where are you going to put a boat? I don't know. In Lake Hefner. In Lake Thunderbird. I don't know. But it's definitely not going to be a Pirates of the Caribbean Seas boat. Just works as in solid or just works as in barely? I'm going to say barely. It barely works. When you get stuck in a door and you didn't even go through the door, it barely works. So, but yeah, no, that was question one. And Jacob, I hope you got your answer out of it. Everything's going well. We are 40 minutes into the first hour of the show, and we've answered one question. And you've missed quite a bit. You've missed the Norse Forge Gathering updates. How I absolutely had a blast. You missed my new TikTok content creation ideas. Who there are a couple people in the chat who are waiting for me to get dressed into pirate and start reading novels. But yeah, no, you didn't miss much. You didn't miss much. And the things that you did miss, you can just go back and replay it. You know why? Because this stream is being recorded for those who are not able to make the lives. We like it. So, but yeah, no, Jake, I hope you got your answer. I hope it was an answer. I don't know if it was the answer you were looking for. But I've still got other games I'm still playing, and I haven't even gotten out of Act 3 on Baldur's Gate 3 yet, and I put that on the back burner. A while ago. Milady Lee, it's okay. Like I said, you can go back and you can rewatch the stream, and you'll get the updates. To be fair, Pirate Captain Moss did make an appearance on the beginning of the stream, and that's for those of you who don't know, the other pirate who was in the beginning of the stream, that is Pirate Captain Moss. Him and I became friends over the weekend, and absolutely a wonderful pirate. So yeah. We're starting with Treasure Island, and then we're going to A Pirate's Love. And if you scroll up in the chat, Yukai told me that I should pre-read some of those pirate fantasy books. They get quite spicy, so if they get too spicy for TikTok, then they'll be here. And if they're too spicy for here, then they'll be in the Discord. I will post videos in the Discord. You got to meet casual Captain Moss during the potluck. Well, I, unfortunately for everybody at the potluck, I was at the King's Feast. So, and the King's Feast was, oh my God, the King's Feast. They just pile food on your plate. I mean, they ask you whole or half chicken. And then they give you like 2-3 handful helpings of shredded pork and mashed potatoes and green beans and corn and bread. And it was a feast for a king, I would tell you. And Tumblr and Instagram. Yep, Tumblr and Instagram. Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I'm Archaeopirate on Instagram. I'm Archaeopirate on TikTok. I'm the Pirate Archaeologist here. Yes, you did offer to run the potluck, and everybody was very appreciative for you to run the potluck. Yeah, Meat Sweat City. You have no idea. Not only that, but they were selling this at the King's Feast. Well, they were selling the traditional meat at the King's Feast, but But yeah, no, absolutely. If any of you ever, like I said at the beginning, if any of you ever get the opportunity to go, go. We had 40 acres of property that we had to run of, which was 1/6 of the camp. They're trying to plan for more. That's all I can say. So we there was a lot of people there, but there could have been more. There could have been tons more, and we would have still had plenty of room. But yeah, go. Absolutely go. It was a great time. You will not be disappointed. And if you like the Viking look, if you like the Nordic look, if you like being Norse, being a Viking, that's the place to go. If you like knights, if you like, we had a couple knights there. We had a half dozen or so pirates there. Yes, we have only scratched the surface. And I am not here speaking for or as a representative of Norse Forge Gathering. This is just my take. This is my hot take. Absolutely wonderful experience. You will only meet new people and you will only meet new friends. Go. That's all I can say. Go. We had a band drop an album while we were there. They had their own bottle of specially branded mead that they issued for sale at the drop of the album. I mean, yeah, you were no. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Yeah, but you were fine. You were fine. We had Snow White there. We had a Jarl there. We had 2 pirate captains, or 2 pirate kings. Bacon! Sorry, I got loud there. That is Bikes and Bacon, everybody. Welcome in, Bacon. She is our resident from the UK, and it was an honor and a pleasure for me to meet her. Lovely person. I would go to the UK just to visit Bacon. So, but anyway, so yeah, it's getting to the point of the top of the hour. We got 15 minutes to the top of the hour. We still got like five questions left. So let's move on to question number 2, and this question comes from our good friend Kirk. And Kirk asks, if Indiana Jones was a D&D character, what class would he be? And more importantly, which D&D version would he be best in? That is a great question. Oh, and here is the email. If you want to email me a question for my advice or my hot take on something, it is roguebardadvice@gmail.com. It kind of looks like roguebardadvice@gmail.com, but it's roguebardadvice@gmail.com. So, that is an excellent question, Kirk. If Indiana Jones was a D&D character, and I don't know if I've answered this question before on another episode, but I'm going to answer it again because it's just that good of a question. He'd most likely be a rogue with the archaeologist background. I've created the archaeologist background on the Discord or in another episode. But the archaeologist background from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, which is 5th edition. But he could even be I got an itch on the nose. Sorry. He could even be a mix of a rogue and a fighter to account for his brawling prowess, or even a ranger for his survival skills and ability to navigate the ruins. As for the edition, 5th edition probably would work well because of how flexible backgrounds and multi-classing can be. However, if you're thinking pulpy action, high-stakes adventure, there's only one. I don't care. I don't care what the other thing I wrote down, Pathfinder 1.8, 1st edition. No. 3.5. By far, 3.5, day in, day out. It would fit. It's a detailed skill system and cinematic combat options. It works for lots of role-playing abilities. 3.5, all day. 3.5, all day long. Mastermind Rogue. Jake. So yeah, that's another thing. That is another thing. So I went to the Norse Forge Gathering with a built 5th edition, 5th level character, a criminal mastermind rogue. And when I started describing him and describing it, it intrigued people. And then I told them who I modeled my character off of. And they were absolutely floored, and they wanted to immediately involve my character into the games. So my rogue criminal mastermind was modeled off of Raymond Reddington from The Blacklist. And I had him at neutral evil. I want to play a neutral evil character. Somebody who's not bad, but somebody who's not entirely good. Somebody whose moral values are a little skewed. Somebody who's only in it for what benefits them, as long as what benefits him also benefits the party, but more so benefits him. I like where you're going with that, Jake, and I actually built that. Milady is describing Queen White's outfit that she wore. Yes, she was absolutely. The Norse Forge Gathering would not have been as organized as it was without Queen White being the head of the volunteers. We had Norse Fox, who was head of the vendors, and I want to, and I know we're live, but I know Norse Forge isn't here, and I know Norse Fox isn't in here, and I know Queen's not in here, but I do want to take a moment and make a shout out to Norse Forge and Allie Skate Elf. Thursday night we got hit with a thunderstorm, and in that thunderstorm there might have been a couple microbursts. A lot of the vendors had come in Thursday morning to set up their tents and set up their vending booths and everything else. A couple of the tents got flown over the rainbow, so to speak. They came up missing or came up destroyed or whatnot in the morning. Norse Forge, he went out to Walmart and bought every single pop-up tent, pop-up canopy that they had, just so the vendors could be just so the vendors' booths could be replaced, so the vendors could have a place to do their wares. And at any other Comic-Con, Ren Fair, whatever, you would not ever see that. And I want to take this moment to thank Norse Forge for doing that on behalf of the vendors, on behalf of everybody who was there. That he did not have to do that. He took time and money out of his pocket and out of his enjoyment of his gathering to go do that, to make sure that the vendors had a great time and were able to do their sellings. Yeah, the storm tried to kick our butt, but it failed. Exactly, Bacon. Exactly. And I don't care who you are. There is no other person out in Ren Fair community, out in Comic-Con community. If something like that happened, it's written into your contract. If something happens, it's on you. No. Norse Forge went above and beyond, and that's why I'm telling you guys, next time it comes around, go. Take a trip out to North Carolina and just go. Be there for all 3 days and just decompress and have fun. I did. Too many fender burners on Friday of the May 24th long weekend, doing 5K in 100K zone. 90 minutes to drive 3 hours. Yeah, I can see that. Norse and Alley are amazing people, my lady. Norse and Alley, it was great to finally meet them. It really was. It was absolutely wonderful to finally meet them and not just chatting with them on the Talk of Tick. Absolutely, Bacon. Absolutely. Thank you guys for being here. You guys, I wanted to share this out with you guys in the Discords and all, and I am glad you guys made it in tonight. Thank you for that. But I hope you got your answer out of that, Kirk. I hope there was an answer there for you somewhere about Indy being what type of character he was. But yeah, definitely rogue, definitely of the archaeology subclass. Definitely mix in maybe one level of rogue, maybe 3 levels of ranger, maybe 3 levels of fighter. I mean, you cannot have levels of fighter and not be and kick the bad Germans' asses. So you're fine, Bacon. You're fine. We understand tech issues. There's a tech issue with this program at least once a week. So trying to get through it where there's no tech issues, but there's always a tech issue. So our next question of the evening does come from Amanda, Puffy Cheeto. And she asks, in reference to our long-form discussion on the steam engine and its subsequent part in the Industrial Revolution, what else shaped the world significantly during this era? Ooh. I specifically chose this question. Now, for those of you who don't know, we just spent the last month, there's a segment of this program called Archaeology Corner where I teach a bit of archaeology. The guests send me what they want to learn about, what they want to know about, and it just so happened to be Puffy Cheeto wanted to know about the steam engine and the Industrial Revolution. So we spent 4 weeks learning about the history of the steam engine, from the Hero engine all the way up to the trains, the steam engine trains. And this question was matted in with that, so I took it and ran with it. In the Industrial Revolution, the big significant thing that shaped that time frame and that area, or that era, was the Enlightenment. It was Marxism. It was Stalinism. It was Leninism. That is what drove the Industrial Revolution. Coming out of that, the bourgeoisie and the proletariats. Proletariats standing up against the bourgeoisie wanting control of the factories, wanting all of the money. Kind of similar to things that are going on currently. So, without getting too in depth and too involved with it, that's the driving force of the Industrial Revolution right there. It was the Enlightenment, and it was books written by certain authors, certain social scientists, socialists. That's what drove it. And if you want to learn more, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. But I can teach you. So I hope there was an answer for you there. It's a short answer, not too bad, not too much of a long answer. And he was a teacher too. Yes, he was. He was a professor. And he got his honorary doctorate. Did you know that? His doctorate was honorary. And it was an honorary doctorate in linguistics. And he only got it as an honorary because of his fieldwork in antiquities. So, yeah. He wasn't a real doctor because he didn't actually finish. He didn't actually do a thesis. He did fieldwork. And they gave it to him as an honorary because he brought back the Ark of the Covenant. He brought back Eye to Peacock. He brought back lots of things. He fought with Pancho Villa. He fought alongside Pancho Villa. Now I am going into Indiana Jones, young Indiana Jones series, which is still canon, but it's not the Indiana Jones that most people think of, Harrison Ford. No, this Indiana Jones was Sean Patrick Flannery Indiana Jones. Sean Patrick Flannery did an absolute wonderful job as young Indiana Jones. But yeah, no. If you want to learn more about the books and the teachings and the learnings that drove the Industrial Revolution, just reach out. I will be happy. I will be happy to inform you on that. But with that being said, we're off to our next question. And our next question comes from our friend Kurt. I'm not the pirate archaeologist, though I think advances in manufacturing science and technology played a bigger role. Yeah, but without the books of Karl Marx and Joseph Stalin and Vladimir Lenin and their socialistic techniques, and this is where you get into social science more than you get into anthropology, those advances would not have happened. The bourgeoisie and the proletariat the bourgeoisie was working the proletariat to death. Child labor laws weren't a thing back then, so you had kids as young as 4 working in a factory. You had kids young as 6 or 8 getting their fingers chopped off in looms, making clothing, making cloth, making whatever. It was not a very good time. You had individuals like Andrew it's Andrew Carnegie and J.D. Rockefeller, who was monopolizing many aspects of industry. So there's a lot. There's actually a lot. Now, advances in manufacturing science and technology absolutely played a role, but the pivotal roles, it's all combined. It's the Enlightenment era. It's the Enlightenment. So, but moving on. We can discuss that more in the Discord. And if you join the Discord, and there's a link to the Rogue Bard Advice Discord in the chat somewhere up at the beginning. I put it there. It's our after Bard Advice Discord. We hang out there afterwards, and I know things. I know people are going to say, limit myself to Discords, overstimulating. Get it? Understand? You don't have to. It's there if you want. I'm looking at you, milady. But we're off to our next question. And our next question comes from Jacob. Again. Ye old pirate, bardian rogue. I sniffed these questions out for you. Now, we're only going to do one a week, though, Jacob. So you've got me 3. We're only going to do 1. So the Retriever of Gold's first question is this. Now that we have an American Pope born in Chicago, will the Chicago Bears win the Super Bowl? Or will the White Sox win the World Series? Divine intervention, maybe. Ooh. 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 So the Pope, the new Pope, is Chicago born. Did most of his work in Peru. Is missing out on a few things. He's missing out on a lot of things. Like, he was just a cardinal, and they just elected him Pope. It's kind of like Jake and Elwood. When Jake gets out of prison, he has to go see the Penguin because he told the Penguin that when he got out of prison, he'd go visit the Penguin. And the Cardinal had to go see the Penguin. I mean, or the Pope missed out on a wonderful opportunity. He spoke on the balcony in Latin and in Spanish, and there are people out there clamoring on why didn't he give a speech in English? He's an American-born Pope. I just wanted him to say one line, and then put on sunglasses and a black fedora and turn around and walk back through the curtain. And that one line would have been, "We're on a mission from God." Now, I am not a practitioner of that religion, or I am Wiccan, but that would have just been funny. As the Chicago Bears winning the Super Bowl in the next decade, that'd be a fat chance. They gotta do absolutely some miracle work somewhere. They gotta keep a good quarterback there that they draft or they pick up from somewhere and actually keep and put weapons around them so that they can actually perform. The White Sox winning the World Series, I'm a Cardinals fan, so any time I can bash on the Cubs or the White Sox, I know the White Sox aren't even in our division, but anytime I can bash on the Cubs, I'm going to do so. I'd like to see the White Sox win the World Series, but there are just too many. There are just too many factors in baseball to determine. It's not like it's not like the White Sox would be the Pope's favorite team. I mean, the Pope is a religious guy, and there's only one baseball team out there that, if there was, that they would favor, and that would be the Angels. And yes, we're going back to the 90s, Angels in the outfield. So as much as I'd like to say that they would win, I doubt it. There's just too many good teams out there currently that have the Bears number. And there are too many good teams out there that have the White Sox number. Yeah, awkward moment when the Bears are so bad, even divine intervention can't help it. Exactly. Latin and Italian, that's what it was. It wasn't Spanish, it was Latin and Italian. The Padres are still a thing. And they may get better divine intervention than the Bears. I mean, the Bears. It's the Pope. It's okay. So Latin, Spanish, and Italian. Perfect. We'll cover all three romantic. We'll cover all three of the 4 Romance languages. But yeah, no, it's honestly, with what Tampa Bay did this year in not only in the draft but in free agency, and with Baker coming back healthy, and with Chris Godwin coming back healthy, and we've got Chris Godwin some help in the wide receiver aspect. We've got Mike Evans coming back. We've got Mike Evans some help on some backups. We got the smallest guy in the draft, and we've got the largest guy in NFL history in free agency. And he's going to be teamed up with Vita Vea on the defensive line. Yeah. 465-pound defensive lineman next to 331-pound Vita Vea. Ain't no stopping us now. That's all I'm saying. They're going to be running roughshod off of everybody, and everybody still is underestimating Tampa Bay. Now, mind you, I'm underestimating Chicago. Could Chicago absolutely pull something out of a rabbit's hat this week or this year? Absolutely. Don't know. So, but anyway, moving on. Our final question before we get to, and I changed it. It's no longer Banter Brigade. I changed it to The Deadly Dungeon. So, but our last question comes from Kirk again. Mainly because you guys are the only ones that ever send me questions. More people send me questions, more people get their names shouted out on the live. But Kirk asks, what is the most recently found true pirate treasure? Now, I actually had to do some research for this, Kirk. I actually did not know this. I actually had to do some research for this. The most recently found true pirate treasure was found in 2015. A team of marine archaeologists uncovered what they believe to be part of his long mythologized treasure. And this is from Captain Kidd. And the treasure be a 121-pound bar of silver from a shipwreck off the coast of Madagascar near Sainte Marie Island. This discovery is significant because, unlike many rumors and legends, this treasure comes with a strong archaeological backing and historical context. Captain Kidd's career straddles the line between privateering and outright piracy in the late 17th century. The find stands in contrast to countless stories of lost pirate booty that linger solely in folklore. While there have long been rumors and false leads regarding pirate treasures, often discussed treasures of Kidd or the elusive Wadi Gali. The Wadi Gali was I want to say it was a Indian vessel from India that was sunk somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico, Yucatan Peninsula Basin somewhere. It was a large ship. But the 121-pound silver bar is among the few discoveries that have actually been verified by experts. Its location near Madagascar also ties directly to Kidd's documented, if controversial, maritime routes and decisions during his ill-fated career, adding depth to our understanding of pirate history. So there, a 121-pound bar of silver was the most recent pirate treasure found. I heard minis. I saw minis. Because I'll do anything other than paint my minis. Yes, you will do anything else but paint your minis. I get called out when I take a break because, what am I going to do? Paint your minis, Kirk. Oh, I kid. I have fun. You're welcome for the treasure info. And if I had a 121-pound bar of silver, I definitely wouldn't be doing this. I'd be funding... You know what I'd be doing if I had a 121-pound bar of silver? I'd be funding the next Norse Forge gathering. Jesus, that's... Next year is going to be so great. It really is. It's going to be so... Of the things we learned this time, they are taking a step back and they are reevaluating, reassessing, and learning from what we had from what we did this year to incorporate it. I was going to say funding a gathering. It's going to be a wonderful time, Bacon. It's going to be a wonderful time. And you're going to be there too, right? You're coming back. You better. Because I just learned from Gary the barbecue chef on the TikTok how to make bacon. But not out of you bacon. Because bacon made out of you would be weird. But no. Actual pork slab bacon. So maybe I make some and bring some. But I'm pretty sure everybody wants me to bring the rum. So that is what I'll be doing. All right, so if you are in the Discord, and this is primarily for the Discord, you have known that I put up polls every week for battles. Because our good friend River sent me a list of things he wanted to see who would win in a fight. This thing or this thing. You're going to get rum. I will make sure that you get rum. Do you want it double filtered or non? Because everybody seemed to like the double filtered through the Brita water filter. But you will know that we have been doing this for the last, 10 episodes, something like that. And last week, we had the Ancient Eldritch Horror versus Deranged Gods. Now, we do this bracket style. So, these two came in from round 1 and went to round 2. You guys did not disappoint at all. You guys did not disappoint at all. If you're waiting for ska versus punk rock, then send me an email, because that's not one that River sent me. So Bacon, you missed out. I had brought with me. We'll get to the Deadly Dungeon in a minute. I had brought with me a bottle of 12-year aged Appleton Estate Jamaican rum. And I gave Mezzy, welcome in, Mezzy. That is another bard. Everybody say hello to the bard. I'm not gonna say the full thing, Mezzy, because it's, yeah. But I had gotten a Brita water filter pitcher, and I had poured the entire thing of the rum through the Brita water filter. And I did it twice. And it smoothed the rum out. It took away the after bite. It still gave you that front bite that you knew it was alcohol. And it smelled delicious. It smelled beautifully. But that throat bite is what it took away. Taco from Taco Reacts on TikTok had some. He tasted it. He handed me back the bottle. He's like, I ain't even mad at that. I am not mad at that. That's the best compliment I could ever get on something that I just tried. I'm gonna do that next, Mezzy, because I'm a good. I love my vodka and I love my rum. So I didn't know. I did not know how it was gonna turn out with the rum because of the rum's coloration and the charring of the barrels that it's in and everything else. But absolutely, it was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, it was it was look, I only brought it out at on Friday night in Norse camp. That's where it was at. If you weren't in Norse camp, then you wouldn't have known about it. So next year, maybe y'all come down to Norse camp. Or come to find wherever the pirates are going to be, because you know that the pirates are going to always have rum. Had I known how much of a hit it was going to be, I would have bought more than just the one bottle. But I know you were late because of the potluck. But yeah, no, next year I will be bringing more than just one bottle of Appleton Estate 12-year rum. I might even be able to get a discount on it because I got a buddy of mine who, if I buy a case, I may be able to get a discount on the case because he owns a liquor store in the Keys and his parents just opened up a liquor store in our hometown in Melbourne. So, yeah, I may be able to get a discount on some liquor. Not a terribly big discount, but a discount nonetheless. I know, I saw all your guys' alcohol. I was impressed that there wasn't more AP going on in Bard Guild than there could have been. So, yeah, no, you guys and your communal, you guys over there in Bard Guild, absolutely the Bard's trash can. That sounds like it's a delicious drink, but I don't know. Yep. All right, so last week we had the poll set up who you guys thought was going to win a fight between an ancient eldritch horror and a deranged god. I want to tell you, I had to do it twice because I had to throw it into my logarithm and throw it into my proprietary software and do it twice because I didn't believe the answer. because you guys flipped the script on it. You guys said that a deranged god would beat the ancient eldritch horror 63% of the time over the 38% of the time. Though my 100 simulations has it closer to 60% the ancient eldritch horror and 40% deranged gods. However, we don't go by my simulations, right? We go by what the poll in the Discord says. So, without further ado, I want to say that the deranged gods have beaten an ancient eldritch horror. However improbable and impossible that may be, apparently our deranged god is Sheogorath. Good night, Mezzy. Be safe. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, so Sheogorath has defeated an ancient eldritch horror, which means our bracket, it's been up there for 2 weeks, Crimson. I set it up 2 weeks ago. I'm going to have to tag, and you know, I haven't been tagging everybody because River didn't like getting the messages from everybody, getting the pings. So maybe I should start pinging everybody when I put up the poll. I think I'll do that. I'll do that tonight. And by the way, this one isn't on it. The next one tonight isn't on our list because we're actually going to do this one twice in a row. Well, not necessarily twice in a row, but this one is taking the place of something, and I'll explain why. Because it's not fair. But this is what our bracket looks like so far. You have robots and hoplites. The robots won that fight. You have the elves and werewolves. We haven't decided. We haven't come to a discussion on that one yet, and we won't for another 2 weeks because of what I'm about to be doing. The deranged god has beaten the ancient eldritch horror, and this is where things are going to get fishy. And I say fishy only because it's Hellman's mayonnaise. We're going to eliminate Hellman's mayonnaise from this whole group. We're going to keep Hellman's mayonnaise, but we're going to eliminate them from this competition, from this one, because I think I found something even better, and I thought of it today. Next week's, and I'll put the poll in there in the Discord, but next week's versus battle is going to be Vikings versus SEAL Team 6. I think either one of those would be a better matchup against ninjas than Hellman's mayonnaise, because that's basically giving ninjas a free pass all the way to the end. Yes, I'm going to give ninjas a chance. It's Vikings versus SEAL Team 6. I could have done... I was thinking Vikings versus Samurai, but they're too similar. I was thinking Vikings versus... I was thinking about throwing Pirates back in there, Vikings versus Pirates, but you all emphatically said ninjas over Pirates. So I can't do that one again. I could have gone Vikings versus Special Forces, Green Berets, Rangers, who knows? But yeah, Vikings. Look, Vikings don't go anywhere. If I've learned anything, I'm going to be on video for this one. If I've learned anything from last weekend at the Norse Forge Gathering, SEAL Team 6 is comprised of 8 to 10 individuals. A Viking horde is comprised of hundreds to thousands of individuals. Vikings versus SEAL Team 6. That's what you get. That's what you get. And then it's the winner of that is going to see, because the winner of that match, and that's why I say we're going to do it 2 in a row, because we're doing that match, and then we're going to do the winner of that match versus the ninjas, because that'll be the next one we do. Elves versus werewolves is going to be the final one we do for this round. They don't have a Geneva Convention. It's not a war crime the first time, Bacon. And the Canadians told us that. All right, so that is the end of this. From here, you guys know what time it is. It is Good Things of the Week, where you tell me in the chat what the good thing of the week that happened to you is. The good thing of the week that happened to me? I made it back from North Carolina, safe and sound. I went to the Norse Forge gathering, had a blast. I got some elderflower mead, absolutely delicious. Those are the good things for me for the week. What's the good things for Milady Lee? The gathering's the good thing of the week for her. She made it home safe. Bacon made it home safe. Bacon had to fly across the pond to go back to the UK. Made it safe. Good thing for the week for Kurt. He recently found a decently tart cherry pie. You found a cherry pie? If you get some of this, they've got one that's sour cherry. You might actually like it. Oh, terrible week. Getting through it, and this stream were the good things. Well, I am glad. I am a good thing for you. Be sure to catch the new streams, though, because the new streams is Pirate Book Talk. People seem to like it. Though it'll be happening on probably either Monday nights or Tuesday nights. From what I met so many great people. I met, if you're on the TikTok, you know these people. I met Popo Blanco. I met Just Call Me 2 Liter. I met Taco Reacts. I met Haley and Kendra. I met Wheezy Wee. I met all the influencers. They were there. I met Bacon. I met Milady Lee. But Popo Blanco and Just Call Me 2 Liter gave me some great advice. Popo Blanco said, "When I find that niche, that's me. I'm going to be caged. I'm going to be stuck there. I'm okay with that." Because we all know I don't do this for the monetization. I'm not getting monetized for this. I do this because I love this. And Just Call Me 2 Liter told me not to do it on Friday, not to do my book talk on Fridays or Saturdays, because that's when people just are doom scrolling. Do it on a earlier day of the week, because that's when the algorithm is the highest, or when you get the most views, or when you anything. My last day video, I don't know if you guys, if I've told any of you guys in there, Bacon, Milady Lee, my last day Norse Forge Gathering video that I did while I was just walking through the woods, just holding my camera up, hit 1,000 views. It was my first 1,000 view video. After the Norse Forge Gathering, I started with 2,900 fans when I went to Norse Forge. After the Norse Forge Gathering, I'm at 3,003 fans or followers. It's just going to go up when I start talking like a pirate and reading a book. I will be doing the long forms. The long forms will also be getting uploaded to YouTube. I will be chopping the long forms up and doing them in small sections so I can post them to TikTok in parts so that people who aren't in the live can still listen on. But yeah. Bacon, I am stoked, and I can't wait for you guys to hear more of me talking. If my wife will tell you anything, I love to talk. So that's great. Kirk's had nothing but bland cherry, sweet cherry pies. They hardly taste like cherry at all. Been seeing a good one for a long time. You know, all of y'all who went to the potluck at the Norse Forge gathering, Milady Lee, Bacon, I think you went to the potluck too. If not, you went to the King's Feast. I had some delicious, and I don't know how they made it. I had some delicious peach cobbler at the King's Feast. Absolutely one of the best peach cobblers I ever had. Wasn't too sweet, wasn't too tart. It was that sweet spot of cobbler. She just got all the leftover bacon. Of course. I don't know how to answer that question. Because I was running around the North Forge gathering talking like this the entire time. And people seem to like this. And this is the voice that screwed up my voice for an entire week. So, if this is cliche corny to you, then this is what it is. But this is Captain Bones. This is Captain Bones' voice. And the scones and the baklava. And really, Taletna, the pirates spoke in an English accent. And as Bacon was informing me of while we were there, the foot part of England, the foot part of the UK, the deep, gravelly, the voice that I just was doing. Kevin. That's easier. That's easier than trying to. Yeah, that Kevin. But from what Bacon was telling me, the voice that I was doing would be similar to a voice that they would do in the foot of England. Yes, we did. Because I had asked Bacon the next time I see her at the next gathering that if she would do me a favor and teach me how to speak with an English accent. She's like, you're doing it already. It's just you're doing a Southern England accent. Not too bad, not too good. I'm not going to say it was the greatest accent because there was a guy there who had a phenomenally fake English accent. But then of course you have Bacon, who's got a phenomenally wonderful English accent, but that's because she's from there. But yeah, no, absolutely. I will be talking like pirate, like Captain Bones, reading Treasure Island and reading romance pirate novels for all of the fans out there. But I hope that answered your question. Hey guys, We've done it. We're at an hour and 37 minutes. Yeah, we started the pod an hour early because I had so much to get through. And we've made it. We've made it an hour and 40 minutes. I think this has been one of the best pods that I have done yet, and it's because of the Norse Forge Gathering. I swear to you, it's because of the Norse Forge Gathering. So, with that being said, I want to thank everybody for coming in. I want to thank our new members, Milady Lee, Bacon. I saw another one. It was Poison Ivy, Mezzy. Thank you guys for coming in. If you liked what you see, please subscribe, share, hit that like button, hit that notification button. That way you'll get notified when we go live. Join the Discord if you want. There's no pressure to join the Discord, but if you join the Discord, you get access to behind the scenes things like the Discord poll, like you get our ping cord notifications so that it tells you we're going live, so you don't have to get notified from the TikTok or from the YouTube. And you get to hang out when you want, if you want, no pressure. Check out all the links in the description. We're not ending yet. I got one more thing to say. Couple episodes into Rogue Advice, if y'all remember, we had our first quote sponsor, though wasn't really a sponsor because I was doing it. I was just promoting his business. Hexwood Studios was at the Norse Forge Gathering this year. I met the guy from Hexwood Studios, and Hexwood Studios did something fabulously amazing that he didn't even have to do. It literally probably took some money out of his pocket, but you know what? It was a beautiful thing to do. He dropped off at the Mages Guild at our TTRPG tent for an individual. Goes to anyone. There was no individual in mind. It was just any individual who is new to playing D&D. He dropped off a dice holder, a wooden dice holder, one of the wooden dice holders that he hand makes. He dropped that off to Mages Guild and said, give this to a brand new player, somebody who has never played D&D before. Give this to them. It's a gift. He absolutely did not have to do that. It was wonderful that he did. And at the end of Rogue Advice here, I want to make that shout out to Hexwood Studios. Thank you for doing that to whoever got that box. Not saying that they're going to ever see this, but to whoever got that box, you got a wonderful gift. Take care of it. It was absolutely fabulous. So, with that being said, our email for you guys to send me stuff is roguebardadvice@gmail.com. Please send me all your comments, questions, things you just want to know, like advice on life, advice on archaeology, advice on whatever. We will answer it in the pod. And with that being said, thank you all for coming in. I am going to take a swig of the Elderflower Mead. Y'all have a nice night.